Hey everybody. Um, Happy holidays. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Um, Christmas is just around the corner. Uh, but rather than make my followers wait an unusual amount of time before my next live, I decided to go ahead and do one. Got a little bit of an update, hopefully to the good, and a lot of prayers to my spirit family, especially Bass, about our kitty cat Boo. He's doing better. He's still with us. We think that he may have had some kind of blockage. And when Chris was giving him the tuna with oil in it, it helped to unstop the blockage. So he was able to finally go to the bathroom, and we think he may have been constipated. Hey, it happens, to cats just like humans. And hopefully he'll start, gaining his weight back decently. He's acting more himself. He's not going off and hiding. He's eating like he normally does. He's eating his treats again. He's eating his food. He's drinking water. He's being what we consider normal for him. And thank you for everybody that helped, with prayers and, good wishes and everything. Went over to my mom's today. My voice broke, sorry. And started the decorating process for Christmas. But all I managed to get done today was get some garland put up for her in the archways into the house, which there's a total of 3, I think, that kind of go like this. They have that shape in the top, and then I think like the bedrooms have the typical rectangular shape and stuff. And there's 2 bedrooms downstairs, and then there's the attic space upstairs. But there's only one side of one of the arches I wasn't able to put up garland, and that's just because there was no way to put up garland. You would literally have to have one of those ladders that you can put in different positions and stuff, like you can bend them and stuff into different positions for different workspaces. If I would have had one of those, I would have been able to, or a step ladder that gave me enough height to get up to the other side of the one archway. So, but Mom was happy with what I was able to get done. And I watched enlightening, I guess is a good way to put it, video today from somebody that I will just refer to as Sigby. Nobody will ever figure that out. It's a name I made up, from this person's initials. And he's a YouTuber. That's all I'll say. One that I used to follow for a while, but then I stopped because, well, different reasons. But anyway, still think the guy's great, and really admire him and all that he's achieved in his life so far. But the video that I saw today was kind of shocking, but not really. It was kind of like, what? But, okay. He just found out, I guess, quite recently that he was an alcoholic. So He checked himself into rehab. Good for him. Get off my screen, you stupid bug. I guess he just recently got out because from the background in the video, it looked like he was live streaming from his house. And he was being open and honest about his struggles with his addiction, other substances as well. And I say, way to go, Sigby, good for you. It takes a lot of courage to be able to do a live stream and be open and vulnerable to anybody that watches it, anyone that follows your channel. And I have a lot of YouTubers that I follow, but only a handful that I even watch, and that's like once in a blue moon. But I'm really happy for him. It makes me admire him even more. And may he continue on his journey and keep getting better and stay away from the stuff, because just like so many of us know, addiction it's a serious disease. It can debilitate you, it can destroy you, it can destroy your life, it can destroy those you love, and in the end you end up with nothing, and you may end up dead in a ditch somewhere. That's not the way I want to go out. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I've struggled with my own addictions throughout life, because addictions aren't always drugs and alcohol. One of my addictions I have found through my own journeys and my own self-discovery, trying to master myself. And it's not a, it's not a journey you can just snap your fingers and it's done. It's ongoing, and it could be something popped up on my screen. I was trying to see what it was. It was nothing important. Something about storage being low on my computer. Oh well. One of my major addictions, still ongoing, is unrealistic desires for someone I can't have, someone that's already taken. And instead of trying to find my own happiness, which I am still doing, why would I take someone else's? That's just not right. And I've had it done to me in many ways. But I guess a lot of the reason why that addiction developed is because wanting somebody that you can't have, like with me, it was usually celebrities. But it makes it safe because they're not attainable. You try to find satisfaction as far as, where would we go? What would we do as a couple? What would our lives be like? How much fun would we have? And what cool places would we travel, and different things we would do together. And not all of them have been female, or male rather. Some of them have been female. But they're just empty desires. They're just parts of myself that I still haven't found a way to fill, that wouldn't hurt anybody, that wouldn't in turn possibly hurt myself, because you can get lost in a dream world and it can be so satisfying that you don't want to come back to reality. And I don't want that to be my fate. In my journeys through life, as I'm learning and growing, evolving spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and all that, I have learned to spot my patterns when they're starting to manifest and stop them. They might have a short lifespan, but then I cut them off. I'm like, no, that's enough. No more, stop. And I will instead engage myself in hobby crafts or some, go out and have a Janet day, go out and have some time to myself, go over and spend the day at my mom's, or at least a few hours, because at least over there it's peaceful and certainly cleaner than here. And that's a struggle that I deal with every day, that I try to not beat myself up over the fact that I live in a cluster, cluster, I'll say it cluster flub, because I know I cuss way too much on here, but anyway. A clutter, house of clutter. I look to my left, I still see this clutter that is getting higher and higher, and it bothers me because this place is too small. I have too much stuff. I have no room to work, and I've said this a million times, and I have nowhere to put this stuff. Excuse me. Burping up dinner, and I think I'm down to my last possible resolution to that is to start taking this stuff downstairs to the basement, start storing it on my tables that better all still be down there. Put some of the boxes, what I can fit, smaller boxes and stuff under the tables, smaller items, and then bigger stuff on top of the tables. And put a sign on each one after I have bespelled each box. Once I take it down there, because once I get them all down there, then I'll do one spell one time, and maybe even put some of the symbols on the paper that I'm going to use to say, property of apartment H, do not touch. And store it on the outside of the storage cage. Nobody's on, it's just me. And let John, the building manager, know that, look, I've got a lot of stuff. I don't have the room in my storage cage. I'm trying to keep it on my tables, under my tables. I'm trying not to take up a lot of room, but I need somewhere to put this stuff because I'm tired of looking at it, and I should not be forced to get rid of my stuff just because it bothers somebody that I have so much stuff. But I would like the reassurance, which I know John really can't give me, but it'll still feel good to say it, that nobody will touch my stuff ever for any reason, because the stuff that I'm going to be taking down there, stuff that isn't open boxes, are going to be taped shut. If they're open boxes, most likely I'm going to have a sheet over top of the whole thing. And, just like I said, put that sign on it, say, do not touch property of apartment H, and put the symbols on it and say, if you touch any of this stuff, something really bad will happen to you because, or don't even say that, just do not touch my stuff. Have the spell in place. Have faith and confidence in my spell work. It works, because every time I've ever done it, it works. And have the reassurance, even if I have to go down, like once a week, a couple times a week, to briefly, maybe lift up the sheet, make sure everything is still there, make sure nobody's untaped any of the boxes, or anything like that, because there's only one person in this building, and I will only give his first name, because let's face it, it's a pretty common name. There's a lot of Daryls running around on the earth that has mental issues, and he is the one person that I would most worry would get snoopy and start going through my stuff and then start helping himself to it. especially if he could find something to sell so he could get his natty daddy beer or get his drugs or whatever he's into. Because as much as I would love to be able to put a door on that room, put a lock on it that only I would have the key to, John would have the key to, but then the other residents would have to have a key. And it's like one person that I would not allow to have that key would be Daryl. Because if Daryl had to go down there and get into that room for something to like trip a circuit or whatever, if one of us that had the key that I do trust went down there with him, be like, sure, come on, I'll take you down. I've got a key. Why can't I have a key? Because I don't trust you. I'm sorry, but I don't. I don't want my stuff to grow legs and suddenly disappear because you help yourself to it, because I have no reason to trust you. If John is okay with that, and right now, sadly, I can't ask my landlord if he's okay with it, and I don't see why he wouldn't be, as long as the stuff's not in the way. It's not like I'm going to leave it in the middle of the floor, or something like that. I'm going to have it on my tables. I'm going to have it under my tables, and I'm going to have a sheet over it. And I'm going to have a sign on it that says property of, and, do not touch. Magic symbols on it, right there on the paper. And, would feel a lot better. That would take a lot of stress off my shoulders, off my mind, to be able to look over there and see the apartment as it should look, not the cluster flub that it is right now. And then once I could get it down to a certain point that I've been wanting to get it down to and be able to keep it there, then maybe I would be able to, little by little, start cleaning this place more to the degree that it really needs. And it would be easier to do it more often because I wouldn't have all that stuff to deal with, which hurts my back. I have to be extremely careful when I'm picking up boxes and moving them around and this and that, because if I bend the wrong way or something like that, or move the wrong way, I could hurt my back worse than it already is. And I don't want to go through that. I don't need to end up in the hospital just because I'm trying to clean my apartment. So Sigby, way to go. Good job. Happy for you. Keep up the good work. I'm sure your family's very proud of you. And like I said, I admire you even more now because it was a big step. And I know it was tough, but you did it. And that's saying something. That speaks volumes, because you have realized you had a problem and you're working on resolving it. You're owning it. You're taking responsibility for it by getting the help that you needed. Way to go. And may others follow. Hi, baby. Come on. See, here's our boo baby. He's doing so much better. And Mommy's so glad. Because, I was crying over this cat so much because I really thought we were going to lose him. I was that scared. And we can't afford to take our pets to the vet or anything right now. So, I'm just grateful that he's okay. He seems to be himself. He's eating. He's being social and loving like he always is. And hopefully here before too long, in a month or so, then I won't be feeling his bones so much. And he'll have more of a little tummy on him like he should. And it'll be bigger than the size of a small little orange or something. It'll be more the size it should be for his weight, his body, shape and everything. I don't want him obese, obviously, because Kalika already is. Because when we got her fixed, she did end up gaining weight. And Boo here, he's always been fixed. And Bella, he's fixed. So both of our girls and both of our boys are fixed. So we don't have to worry about baby kitties, because that would just be too much of a nightmare right now. Not finding good homes for them and stuff. So, just to also let people know, my brother's at least doing better with his Bell's palsy. He's taking his meds like he's supposed to, and hopefully the Bell's palsy will heal itself up and it'll be gone soon. Because I would hate to lose him over something like that, because he said if it doesn't clear up on its own, then he's thinking some dark thoughts and talking about taking his own life, and I don't want to see that happen. I know how difficult something like that must be for a person, especially when his health ain't that great to begin with. So he's struggling with his weight. He could put on a Santa Claus costume, and he's already got the beard, the mustache, and the hair and everything. All he needs is the Santa suit. You got instant Santa Claus. And he jokes around and says, that he is Santa Claus because he looks the part. I went up there recently to see him, and finally was able to bring back the food that, he so graciously kept up there for me all this time, because I just wasn't able to get up there before now. Gas being an issue, most of the time. And we also try to pick a day when the weather's going to be nice, or the best that you can hope for it to be in the middle of winter. Because you don't want rain and slick roads and, stuff like that to deal with, because you're talking about country and 2-lane roads. And yeah, I don't want to go through that. So, hey boo. I'm wearing some of my Christmas gifts to myself, which you're not going to be able to see because I can't blow up the zoom in or anything to where you can see the necklaces I'm wearing. But one of them, this is the matching earrings. It's gold-plated hearts with red roses. And I also have this new bracelet here. It's a prism colored bracelet, and it's a stretch bracelet. And I got a kind of a prism looking fake diamond necklace that I think went with it really well, even though they weren't a set. I also have another set over here to my left that I could show because I'm not wearing it. It's still in the bag. And I got 2 more sets in the bedroom this is just part of the stuff I got for myself, because that way, if I don't get a lot for Christmas, well, at least I got some nice stuff for myself. Still got to get some stuff for my daughter, Alicia, and I'm hoping to do that here soon. Maybe tomorrow I'll run to the Target and at least price some stuff and see what they got available in the little dollar section. And once I get done completely with all the holiday decorating I'm doing for my mom, she said she would give me some money for helping her do it, for doing it for her rather. And then when she does, if she keeps her word and does that, which hopefully she will, then I'll take some of that money and go to the Target and at least try to get Alicia a couple little gifts, because she's one person I haven't gotten for yet. And I'm not even going to try to get anything for Chris because he's just too hard to buy for. But I did the best I could with what I had, and I got something for my mom, I got something for my brother, I got something for Maria, I got stuff for myself. I got one thing in particular for the whole family to enjoy. I took that over to Mom's today, and we enjoyed it over there for a little bit, and then I, left it there because it's not going to be as easy for us to enjoy here because of the cats. And I will maybe show it on here sometime in the future, and then once I do, you'll understand why. But at least over at Mom's, I know it's safe. It won't get knocked down and broke and all that. But, like I myself suffer from, I'm not even sure like what degree of depression to call it, but I just call it the sad times that I get hit with sometimes when, it's like almost like an emotional overload. Like there's a bunch of stuff happening all at once and it just seems like it's just crashing down on you like a ton of bricks, and you're struggling to breathe, you're struggling to get it off of you, to find a safe and healthy way to release it so that you're not hurting yourself any further, you're not hurting anybody else. Love you, boo baby. And one step closer to the whole cannabis thing. Yay. But the government, they're being jerks as usual, and they're nitpicking, and they're just really making stuff harder for people than they need to, which I know for a lot of us is not surprising because, unless they can find a way that's satisfactory enough to them to stick their own hand in the cookie jar and tax the FUCK out of the stuff, then they're just going to keep making people wait to be able to go out and buy it. Like, I don't even know if any of the dispensaries, like Chris found one near us, but it's like over on Morse Road somewhere. But don't know when the doors are going to open on that. So it's like they're dangling it in front of your face and then snatching it away, or trying to find a way to snatch it away or prolong it because they really don't want to do it yet. They want the money that they can make from it by taxing it to death. It's like, oh, brother, what a freaking nightmare. Government's just the government is just a joke. It's just stupid the way they do shit and the way they mess with people, and they don't care. They do it just to be jerks and make you wait. Okay, hurry up and wait some more. So not sure when that day's finally going to come and you can walk into a dispensary and buy some. Oh, is it right here? Oh yeah, I guess it is. I thought I tossed it over there. This is one of the sets that I bought for myself. I haven't worn this one yet, but it's got roses in it too. This is the earrings. And again, like I said, this is fake stuff. This is, you might as well say, costume jewelry. It's not the real thing. Here's the necklace, and the rose is in the top of it. Isn't that pretty? And let's see, here's the rose. There's the rose right there. I don't know how close I can get it, but anyway, haven't wore this set yet, and it's just earrings and necklace. The fake diamond necklace with the bracelet, these are a couple of things that I matched up, and then the heart rose heart, it's just a necklace and earrings. And then the other two sets in the bedroom are, with both sets you get a watch, and I don't think you get a bracelet with both of them. I think you only get a bracelet with one of them, and I think it's the blue set because I've got a blue set and I've got a purple set. But today I decided to wear my gold, my heart's gold, and because today, by my color chart thing that I like to do sometimes when I coordinate my outfits, on a Sunday I try to wear something yellow or gold. And even though this stuff is plated, like when I go to bed tonight, I'm taking this off, Might leave my bracelet on, but I'm taking my earrings out, and then I'll put them in one of my jewelry boxes because I know I've already worn that set. And then the next time around, I'll wear this set maybe. And then the time after that, I'll wear my blue set. The blue set I'll probably wear on a Thursday. The purple set I'll wear on a Wednesday. But I would like to take a few moments to, and this is an emotional topic for me, so I may tear up a bit, but this is something I'm struggling with right now that's hurting me very deeply and on an emotional, mental, and spiritual sense. Putting some Carmex on my lips. My favorite flavor, strawberry. I almost got it gone. And this is a public live, so forgive the long pauses. I just have to really think how to word things before I say anything, because I don't know if this person I'm about to speak of, if they're going to see the live, or if somebody that knows them will see the live and say something to him. And that could backfire on me, but I can't imagine it backfiring any worse than what he's already done to me. My son, Michael, decided that he was going to turn on me and said some really harsh and hurtful things in some text messages that he sent Chris back in early November. And even though I guess Chris thought he meant well by showing them to me because of the pain and hurt that it's causing me, I wish I hadn't seen them. Michael feels that I've abandoned him, that I've forgotten about him, that I don't give two shits about him, that he can't rely on me, that I'm somehow doing something terribly wrong just because I've been going up to Mount Gilead a lot to see my brother, but yet I can't seem to take the time to go to Marion to see him. But yet at the same time, he doesn't seem to understand that's not my fault and it's not intentionally done. It's because GTL won't get off their ASS, get their SHIT fixed so that maybe we could have a visit with him. So he's turned on me for what? He don't have all the facts. He's just making assumptions where he has no right to. And I never wanted to see the day that I would say this or even feel this way. But this is just the point that he has gotten me, because I feel like he's gone too far this time. And I don't know that I can forgive him, like, ever. But I never want to speak to him again. And that hurts me terribly. That's like a knife to my heart. To feel that way and to say that. But if I had those text messages right now and I could read them on this live, you'd understand why. For him to just be so heartless and cruel in his words like he was. It was like he just basically walked up, put a gun to my head, and pulled the trigger. Or worse yet, put the gun to my chest and pulled the trigger. Just killed me dead. Put the bullet right through my heart. Because that's what his words have done to me. And they have cut me deeper than anything in my life yet. And because of that, I feel like I've lost a son. But not by my choice, by his. And when he gets out, I don't even want to be there. I don't even want to go, let somebody else go pick him up. Why should I? He doesn't seem to want anything to do with me anymore, so I'm done. I just washed my hands of the whole situation, and I'm just going to go lick my wounds for the rest of my life. And especially if my son David is in fact dead, and that makes 2 sons I've lost now. And my son Rupert hasn't reached out and tried to get a hold of me, so I may have lost all 3 of my sons, leaving my daughter, who I never hardly get to see because she's always so busy with her life that she don't have time for me. So it's like in one fell swoop, something just came along and took all my children from me, and I'm sitting there going, what the hell just happened? I would never abandon one of my children. I would never forget one of them. I would never not want to go see them in the case of Michael, if I could. But GTL has just made it so damn impossible to even have a sensible visit with your loved ones anymore. It just doesn't seem worth trying. So yeah, things like that, those are the things that hurt the most, that cut the deepest, and are the hardest to heal from, at least for me. Because my kids are everything to me, and for one of them to do me that way is just unforgivable. I mean, I don't know that I ever will be able to forgive him. And all I can ask from any of you, especially since this is a public live, don't cut me down. Don't make me out to be some evil, cruel, heartless person, or start asking yourself questions like, well, what did you do to make him feel that way? Well, that's none of your business now, is it? I'm being open and honest to the point that I can, but this is very personal stuff, and I'm not here to put my life out there in such a way, because I have before, and it's not out there for the world to know. Don't judge me. Don't criticize me. Don't cut me down, and don't make me your punching bag. Because if that's what you're going to do, don't come to my channel. Just don't. Because I ain't got time for this, and I don't deserve it from any public person that watches this. You don't know the facts. You don't understand. You never will. You're nobody that I know. So don't bring that crap here. If you want a punching bag, go to a gym. I'm sure they have some. You know, a person can only take so much, even a mother. And then once that limit's been reached, it's like, I'm done. I'm done. Just, I wish you the best. I wish you love and happiness and joy, and I hope you find your way in life, but I'm done. As far as I'm concerned, I'm dead to you. Find another mother, because you obviously don't want me. So, bye. And I'll just get on with my life. Every day's a blessing. We don't know how much longer we're going to be here. Tomorrow, the world could just be gone. You never know. And I don't want to die with this stuff on my conscience and weighing heavy on my heart like it already is. I don't do things to hurt people. I try not to judge. I try not to criticize, but people sure love to do it to me. And that's not right, because you don't know me. You've never met me. And the majority of you public people that might see this probably never will. But if you do, and you approach me, and you say, oh, you're Janet Mabius, right? Yeah. Oh, I watch your channel. Oh, really? Okay. Don't give me negative comments, a negative attitude. Don't make smart ass remarks, because I'll just be like, well, I don't appreciate that, and I'm going to leave now because I got better things to do with my time than to stand here and be insulted by you. So have a nice day. Bye. And just walk away, because that's all you'll get from this Capricorn. You don't know the hell I've been through. You don't know the stuff I haven't shared, and that I will never share on here, because it's nobody's business. I'm not poking into your lives. I'm not asking you your dirtiest, darkest secrets. What skeletons do you have in the closet? That's not what I'm about. I am here to share some of my life's journey and some of the pain that I go through, because I know there's probably other mothers out there that go through it too, and maybe have even gone through worse than what I'm going through right now. Maybe have lost their children to death, or some horrible, tragic way they died, or, you know, their children turned on them too. And for what? Because they didn't get that Malibu Barbie for their birthday? Because they didn't get a Ferrari for Christmas? Or, you know, a bunch of money so they could just go off and live the lavish lifestyle while their mother's dirt poor? No, that's not the way I am. So I'm just going on from here. I'm just moving on from this point and trying to think of something more positive. And if can't within a reasonable amount of time, then I'll just cut this live stream off. Excuse me. I'm kind of hopeful, trying to be a little bit optimistic about a possible, just possible. There's no concrete anything about it yet, but because it would take a lot of research and a lot of money, a lot of patience, a lot of commitment, and perseverance, and just a host of other things. But I'm trying to find a place that I can turn into a store/shop. It's not going to be online. It's going to be a very real physical place. Come on, Boo, if you want to come back up. You want to come back up? Where the shop part of it will be strictly paranormal related stuff. Don't know that necessarily means that I would be willing to go out and paranormal investigate a place, especially if it's just me. If I don't have a team together, I'm not going by myself. I'm not stupid. I'm not that trusting of people, especially people I just met. But I will have discussion groups about it, people that might be curious about it. I'll put signs in my window, and then if anybody comes in and says, what's that all about? Wants to come in, fine, but they better not be drunk. They better not be high. They better not be on drugs, snorting pills or any crap like that. And they're just looking for an excuse to get in my door, so they can case the joint and see what they can steal so they can get their dope. Those kind of people will not be allowed in my house, or in my shop, rather. But the store part of it is going to be resin pieces, hobby craft created stuff, diamond paintings that are completed. Some will be framed, some will not. For now at least, I will be dealing, strictly in cash because it's just easier. And, I don't want to make too much money, because if I make too much money or I make past a certain point, then my check will get yanked, and I can't have that. I still got to pay my rent. I still got to, live here. And then, you're talking about taking on an additional place to turn into a shop or a store. So that's going to be more money. So it may be tricking, I don't know even how far into the future, but it's a dream, and I'm going to try to achieve it, but I'm not going to beat myself over the head if I don't. If it comes down to it and I have to resort to, a social media platform like YouTube or something, which I've only had one video on here, and I've got a lot more resin pieces since then, but I haven't bothered doing another one because I still don't have the right equipment and the skills to be able to do a live stream and show the product, not just me, in which case, when, like you're seeing me right now, I have to hold each individual piece up to the camera and say, okay, this piece is such and such, and this is how much it is, learning how to upload videos, to my channel here, which it's looking like this is the only channel I'm going to have, because I still haven't been able to get into my Janelle Madius one. Because that requires a skill that I don't have, and I don't want to bother Chris with, because I feel like he'd just get agitated and not want to bother with it. But it would be nice, and it would definitely be nice to have a place to take my hobby craft stuff so I could get it out of the apartment here. And the place would also be, when I wasn't, open for business and using it as a store or a shop, it would be like literally my first vacation home, to where I would spend like maybe weekends there. In which case, I might take my 2 girl cats with me, and then just, like bring them back or something when I'm coming back home. So at least that would give the boy cats here, a break from the girls for 3 days, But I don't want to do that too much, because then it's going to traumatize the girls, all the traveling, because they're going to have to be put in cat carriers, and I'd have to get a litter box and food and everything like that and keep it at the other place. So, and, make sure I store it in, airtight containers, or, get me some kind of a small fridge or something, or hopefully a place would, if it come furnished, that would be the best. But if it didn't, then that means even more money to try and find a discounted place or something that maybe would have, like a little small freezer unit, not freezer, but like a small, like, fridge that I could get, that I could keep that stuff in and keep like some simple foods in. Keep food there, maybe take some of my clothes over there, so I got clothes to wear when I'm there. It would be a nice storage place to have, but I would have to be making the kind of money that I'm certainly not making right now to be able to live at both places, paying rent at both places, and utilities. So you're talking about some serious money. And I don't have nowhere near 1,000 followers, so I can't get monetary donations. And because I'm not out there risking my life and doing a bunch of stupid shit to entertain people, there's probably not going to be a lot of people that would even give me money donations if I did have, 1,000 plus followers. So what's the point? Hey, bro, wanna come up? Hi, BB. There's plenty of other YouTubers out there. If, entertainment is what you want and people that do stupid shit, well, go watch one of them, because that's not me. It's not what I'm about. Boo, would you keep your tail down, please? Keeps flashing his tail in front of the camera. Ow. Freaking itchy spot on my forehead. What you doing, boo baby? I don't have any cards or anything in front of me, so I can't read any of those right now. Don't have any of my books in front of me, so I can't read from any of those either. What? No. And it's like after 8 here, so probably after 1 or 2 in England. So, I don't know when Brooke will ever get around to watching this, but I didn't tell her that I was doing this one because, she's busy with her own life. And whenever you do see this, sweetie, hi, love you. Sorry about the re-mention of, the stuff with Michael, but I really... Oh, I'm sorry, baby. You okay? Didn't mean to do that. I was trying to keep you from hurting yourself. He was trying to get down. I was petting him, so... Mommy wasn't trying to push you down off of there or nothing. Oh, wait. I've got 2 of my decks right here. I forgot. I got them buried under this stuff. Can at least do one of these, but I'm only going to focus on doing mine because there's nobody on here right now. So you can come back up if you want. Come on. But I need to start doing doing one every day, not live necessarily, but doing the affirmation card every day. And usually when I do an affirmation card, I do a green oracle as well. What is my affirmation today? Forgiveness. Well, ain't that just fitting? Especially after what I just talked about with Michael. Congratulations, you're being given one of the most powerful superpowers there is: forgiveness. Imagine that you've been bitten by a radioactive forgiver. The point is, you suddenly have the ability to forgive people for their flaws, their bad days, their unkind moments, and their mistakes. And the best thing about forgiveness is that you can apply it to yourself too. Have fun wielding your new power, but remember, with great forgiveness comes great inner peace. That's very true. But like I said, a person can only take so much. And then after that, they just can't take any more. What does the Green Oracle have for me today? Light. Well, isn't that flattering? Never gotten that one yet, so hey, finally getting a different card I've never gotten since I've had this deck. This one's number 19. Brightness and living outside. A woman opening a window and getting enveloped by the outside brightness. In the ancient times, artificial light was very different than it is now. In our house at night, we can live like we are in an enchanted castle. But just a few generations ago, everything was lit just by the flickering light of a candle. At that time, I think it was easier to feel the power and intensity of the natural light. Artificial light changed the world. Today, we need to take a conscious step to surround ourselves in natural light. Like the lady in the image, we can just open the window and face the sunrise. But sometimes to surround ourselves with light, we need to see things less literally. Choosing friends that are true, loving and being loved, and never forget to notice the energy around us. Divinational meaning. Open the windows and step into the world. Let the light get in. There is a sunrise every day. Do not only live in a man-made world. Do not turn away from the light. I try to live my life every day in light, in a positive way. But then unforeseens happen, and just, it's like, you're going along, you're having a great day, and someone just comes along and just knocks you down and runs away laughing. Just because they want to be cruel and hurt somebody. And that makes it harder to stay in the light, to fight the urge to get up and just hurl something at their head and knock them down so you can laugh at them, So in other words, you're just being just like them if you do that, if you give in to that. But it's not right for somebody to just come along and knock you down either for no reason, just because they want to be a jerk. Living in the light for me is trying to help others, trying to guide others in a positive way, but also reminding others, I have bad days too. I have events that happen that just shock me beyond belief. And sometimes it takes me a while to recover from those. but I'm not perfect. Never claim to be, never will. I'm just me, and I'm just trying to get through life like so many, and don't always make the wisest choices or the smartest decisions, but I try. And I try to learn from my mistakes. What are you doing, Boo? What are you doing? Oh, he's playing with a little orange cord or something that's like dangling in there. I don't know if it's something hooked up to the computer or what, but I was getting a little nervous at first because I thought he was getting in there because he was going to squat down and take a dump or take a pee or something. And I know you just cleaned the litter box, so he really has no reason to do that. I'm looking over here to my left because I'm trying to think of where my books are that I usually read from, that I haven't in a while. Here we go. Nothing there. Oh, here they are. Oh, crap. I hope not. Anyway. Well, got a few here. One that I haven't read from yet that might be interesting for some of you. Your Magical Cat. Spell of the day. And the last time I did the spell of the day, it was either November 9th or November 10th, because that's where I have the marker. Okay, and today is December 10th. So it was roughly, you might as well say, a month ago. The Rebirth of Light spell. So if you want, I will try to read this as decently slow as I can, but not too slow, so you can write it down as I go. If you have to pause it to write down each part, that's fine. That's totally up to you. As the winter solstice, let me try that again. As the winter solstice approaches, a major theme in world magic is luring back the power of light in its many forms. To bring light back into your life, use either a Hanukkah menorah or 9 taper candles. And, while in complete darkness, light them one at a time, saying the following. 1. A hint of light in darkness glows. 2. Waxing slowly the light, it grows. 3. The cover of darkness shall banished be. 4. As in time, each season must fade and flee. 5. A balance is found in dark and light. 6. But now the victor is the sun god's might. 7. Sacred flame that burns and sizzles bright. 8. Burn in me as darkness bows to light. 9. The season turns, yet once again, I open the portal to let light in. So even if you don't catch that first part, just focus on the 9 things and the menorah. if you're Jewish, or if you're okay using a menorah, even if you're not Jewish. As far as I know, it's not insulting to the Judaism culture to use a menorah if you're not Jewish. I think menorahs are beautiful. I don't have one yet myself, but if you're not sure, and I'm not sure if it is or not, research it. But if nothing else, just get yourself 9 taper candles and do it anyway. Just, do the fire safety thing. Make sure you put them in candle holders. Make sure you, I try to put them down, like put down some paper so that if any wax melts down over, it doesn't make a mess, that you have to clean up later. So that's a good spell. That's a good spell. I like that one. Okay, the goddess of the day. December 10th, Noble Day. Samna, Samjna. Never heard of her. Themes: knowledge, learning, excellence, and reason. Symbol: walnut, which represents the mind. Didn't know that. About Samna. I'm going to call Samna because I think the J is silent. Because otherwise I would try to say something like Samjana, but I don't know if that's right. And it's Hindu. In Hindu tradition, this goddess is the source of all conscious thought and action. Her name even means consciousness, and she is the patroness of learning, reason, logic, and knowledge. To do today: every year at this time, the Nobel Prize is awarded for mastery in chemistry, medicine, literature, and peacekeeping. It is a time to revel in humankind's achievements and limitless potential for good, motivated by Samna's gentle leadings. To honor this goddess and the people who have achieved the pinnacle of what she represents, spend time enriching your mind today. For instance, you might read field manuals applicable to your career to advance your knowledge, watch educational television, go to a library, and perhaps donate to its shelves some old books that you no longer read. Organize a local reading group for improved literary appreciation, or turn off the television and engage in intelligent conversation for mutual edification. The options here are limitless. For a Samna charm that improves conscious awareness and your reasoning powers, carry a shelled walnut today. The shape of this nut equates to the mind. Eat this at the end of the day to internalize her power for thoughtful actions. I like it. Oh, tomorrow is Scotty. Scotty. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I like Scotty better than Skady, because you pronounce her name, or it's spelled rather Skadi. To me, Skadi sounds better than Skady. Skady sounds like some horrible skin disease or something. It sounds insulting. So I will call her Skadi, but she is like a winter goddess. It says blowing the midwinter horn in the Netherlands. But I can't promise that I'll be on here tomorrow. So whenever I do a live and I do a reading from these books, I always do whatever that day is. Wow, I just barely started on this book. I was, let's see, 6 pages into chapter 1. And I'm not gonna I'm not going to try to read this from the beginning. I'm just going to read like random bits and pieces of it. If you want to check it out, the author is Jarina Dunwich, Dunwich, and Jarina is spelled Gerina, and she's also the author of the Wicca Spellbook. So if you want to get this book for yourself so that you can read it, that's the author's name. Here's a poem called The Cat with Painted Eyes. Which cat of the pyramids, so they're talking about an Egyptian Mao, the shadows of the wind-worn Sphinx, enshroud her like a priestly robe, of velvet lined with magic. Painted eyes like pharaoh dreams, invoke the spell of desert stars. Her rings of gold and royal jewels enchant the night with secrets. Which cat of the moon, drenched Nile, reflects the image of Bastet. She purrs, she strokes her fur of pitch, and dances like a goddess. I like that. Bastet. According to Egyptian mythology, Bastet, a feline virgin goddess known as the cat goddess of joy, was the daughter of Ra. I did not know that. The sun god and ruler of the underworld, and the mother goddess Isis, wow, who also ruled the sun, as well as the earth and the moon. Bastet was one of the major deities of the Egyptian pantheon. In another myth, Bastet was the firstborn daughter of the supreme creator god, Amun, Amun. She begot a lion-headed son named Mihos, Mihos, whose center of worship was in the city of Bubastis, Bubastis. The cat goddess was originally worshipped in the form of a lioness, like her sister Sekhmet, a ferocious deity who presented the destructive aspects of the sun and devoured the less than fortunate enemies of the sun god. By circa 1000 BC, Bastet's guise had transformed into that of a benevolent cat. Her popularity grew to become widespread throughout Egypt, and she was often depicted in works of art as a deity possessing the body of a woman with the head of a cat, which unsurprisingly was the animal most sacred to her. In later Egyptian theology, she took on the appearance of a cat-headed hawk. Never heard of that one. Emphasizing the spirituality of the cat and symbolizing the soaring immortal soul. Bastet's major role was that of a deity who presided over fertility and sexuality, and she represented the benevolent aspects of the sun. She was regarded as the protectress of the north, the healer of the sick, especially children, and the patroness of motherhood. She protected the dead and decreed the success or failure of all growing things. Bastet was frequently called upon by women wishing to bear children, and by farmers in desperate need of rain. Eventually, she became a goddess linked to the sun, the moon, and the powers of love as well. The cat goddess, whose cult lasted from circa 32 BC until the end of the 4th century AD, when the practice of paganism was officially outlawed by Theodosius I, was, for the most part, a goddess with a gentle disposition. However, like most pre-Christian goddesses, she was not without her wrath if properly provoked. In contemporary witchcraft and sex magic circles, Bastet remains one of the most popular of ancient Egyptian goddesses. She is often invoked in fertility rites and in cat magic. Nearly all witches and pagan folk who are cat lovers hold a special place in their hearts for Bastet. That would be me. The following spells are based on actual magical practices of the ancient Egyptians who exalted the cat to divine status and endowed it with its ninefold life. For protection against all opposition and evil forces, inscribe a scarab talisman with the divine image of the cat goddess and the following words of power. May Bastet, the great lady of Bubastis, give protection. When the moon is full, you must anoint the talisman with 3 drops of frankincense oil, an oil believed since ancient times to be potent with protective magical properties, and then wear it on a necklace, sleep with it underneath your pillow, or carry it in your pocket, purse, or special charm bag. To increase the talisman's magical power, touch it 9 times with the tail of a live cat before applying the anointment. The ancient Egyptians inscribed scarabs of gold, ivory, wood, or stone with various images of and prayers to the goddess, giving life and power to the goddess Bastet. Their magical purposes included, but were not limited to, giving life and power, prosperity, truth, hunting, making rain, healing the sick or injured. Hang on, my finger's itching. Sometimes I don't always know if it's a freaking bug. Promoting fertility, protecting pregnant women and children, which, obviously she meant children that are already born. Guarding cats against snake bites, exorcising scorpion poison from stung cats, warding off evil spirits, and keeping temples and households safe from venomous animals. Bastet's image, name, and sacred invocation were also engraved upon magical wands of ivory, which were buried in tombs to keep the bodies of the dead safe from the many evils that existed in the supernatural realm and in the hereafter. It is believed that the horoscopes of the dead were engraved upon the wands as well. To invoke the ancient power and graceful cat-like presence of the goddess Bastet, inscribe her divine name 9 times upon a cat-shaped candle, preferably one that is of a color corresponding to your intent. See pages 26 and 27. Anoint the candle with frankincense, lotus, or any other type of fragrant oil as you meditate upon the cat goddess. Next, you must cast a clockwise circle for protection and then light the candle in the center of your altar, along with a censer filled with frankincense and myrrh. Open your heart to Bastet, fill your mind with her image, and recite the following pagan prayer 9 consecutive times. O great lady of Bubastis, she of divine feline form, who giveth life and power, I ask thee now to hearken to my words and to my heart. O mistress of the oracle and carrier of the sacred eye, she who is known as the Lady of the East, I call to thee now with prayer and flame. This sacred candle burneth most bright in thine honor, and to invoke thy power and presence most divine. Within this circle, sunwise cast, O goddess of cat enchantment, make thyself revealed before me. Praise be to Bastet, praise be to Bastet, praise be to Bastet, so mote it be. Ah, dang it. I hate when my nose frickin' has an itch attack like that. Once you have invoked Bastet and experienced her presence within your circle, go away, bug. You should speak and at the same time visualize what your intent is. You may also talk directly with the goddess using your voice or thoughts. She will hear you either way and know what is in your heart. So, okay, continue the ritual until the candle burns itself out, which may take several hours depending upon the size of the candle, or until you feel that the time is right to bring the ritual to a close. Give sincere thanks in your own words to Bastet for her presence, protection, and favors, and then bid her farewell. Uncast the circle either by actually tracing it with a sword in a counterclockwise fashion or by visualizing its boundaries, dematerializing, and extinguish the candle with a snuffer or your moistened fingertips pinched together. Many witches and pagans believe that using your breath to blow out a candle's flame after performing a spell or ritual is an insult to the gods and causes bad luck. Come on, nose, dang it. Quit freaking itching, for goodness sake. So at least I read that far. There was something... I wanted to check in here. There's some really good stuff in here. Whoops. It is in here. Okay. Many years ago, while in a bookstore, I ran across this book. Most likely it was a half-price books store. I think I got this one from Amazon, but as I was breezing through it, because I was like, ooh, your magical cat. I like the sound of that. And I came across page 28 that literally has a spell to change into a cat. Right here. I wrote it down, and there's also a casting that you have to do when you want to transform back into a human. Or it's like once you're a cat, I don't know how you would do the spell to turn yourself human again. But the only problem I had with it, and I've never transformed into a cat, so I don't know if it was because I did something wrong. Okay, you got to say the incantation 3 times. But there was a couple of things that I didn't like. Let's see. You have to, something about it. It says, loosely translated, this incantation means, I shall transform into any cat with sorrow and sigh and a black shot. And I'm not sure what that means. But I don't like the sick and side part where you have to, it's like, okay, you'll turn into a cat. But you will be full of sorrow. I don't know if I like that idea. And I don't like the idea of it saying that you will transform in the devil's name. I don't like doing anything in the devil's name because I don't know what the consequences of doing something like that would be. And I don't want the dark ones to think, oh, she did it, so she's ours now. Hello, mystery person, whoever you are. So I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm not gonna recite the chant because I'm not gonna be held responsible for somebody doing this and something go horribly wrong, and then my ass is in the fire, or I get in trouble for it. So if you want to do this, get the book yourself. You might get lucky depending on where you're living and whatnot. You might be able to find this book in a library somewhere, or you might be able to order it on Amazon like I did. But the spell is on page 28, and it says spell to change into a cat. And on page 29, right here, it shows the words that are to be recited when you want to turn back into a human. So maybe to be safe, a good thing to do would be have a friend, a fellow witch, to recite when you're ready to turn back into a human. Have them recite the incantation to undo the spell. So I'm going to stop right there. But I'm glad to know, because that was one of the main reasons I got this book was because of that spell. And I was like, oh boy, I got to try this. I would love to see what I would look like as a cat. That would be awesome. Now, even if it turned me into a black cat, I'd be tickled. I'd be thrilled, because Bastet, usually the way I have been told by others is she comes in the form, when she comes in complete cat form, she's a solid black cat and has beautiful green eyes. So if you want to try this, I will caution you. I've tried it and nothing happened. So I don't know if it was because I didn't, say the whole in the devil's name. I said in Bastet's name, but I'm not comfortable with saying in the devil's name for something like that. So I don't know what to tell you there, but I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I finally found it. It took me years to find it, but I have it now, and I am very happy to see that the spell is in here. Because it's not like the only reason I got this book was because of that incantation. Because I wanted to see what it felt like to be a cat, to literally transform into a cat. And would hope that I would turn into a solid black. Hey! What in the world are you doing up so late? Well, actually, it's not very late. Oh, okay. Vicky just popped on to say hi for a minute. But it would be interesting. Like I said, the main thing is I'm not comfortable with the whole in the devil's name thing. And I don't know, maybe that's why it didn't work. I really don't know, but you'll have to watch from the beginning, Vicky. There's this book supposedly on page 28. If you get this book, it's called Your Magical Cat by the author Jarena Dunwick. Okay. It has an incantation on page 28 that if you recite it 3 times, you'll turn into a cat. And then there on the next page, down towards the bottom of the page, there's an incantation to undo the spell. But when I did it before, I wrote the spell down in a book that I have somewhere around here. And when I wrote the spell down, I just couldn't bring myself to say, yeah, it is trippy, isn't it? Especially if you could successfully pull it off. I was not comfortable with saying in the devil's name, because that's one of the lines in the incantation. I said in Bastet's name instead, and all I can tell you is it never happened. Or maybe I forgot that you had to recite it 3 times. I don't even know now. It was so many years ago, and I believe that was when I was still was it when I was still living here by myself? I think it might have been, because I don't think Chris was here. I don't think me and Chris had met yet before I did that spell. So for years, I wanted that book. And one of the major reasons I wanted the book was because of that incantation. But it's an interesting book. It has a lot of like really cool history about Bastet and about cats in general. And it kind of gives you it's sort of like a catology kind of book that gives you insight into different things about cats. Not to mention it's chock full of cat spells of every type that you can do, but they're designed not necessarily to be performed on a cat, but you can use the image of cats or candle. Like this candle here is a cat candle, this white one. You can get cat candles. It's not hard to find. Just find them on Amazon. Just put in the search window cat candles, and it'll bring them up. And but it's got a lot of really, really cool ones in it, and it's worth a look at. Like if you want to just check it out, not necessarily, kind of like try it before you buy it. Go to a bookstore if there's one near you, or take a chance, order it on Amazon, read through it. If you decide you don't like it, you can always donate it to a library. No hard, fast rules saying you got to perform any of the spells in it or anything like that. But it has some interesting insight about cats and cat-related subjects. Let's just, generalize it by saying that. But rather than making my people wait until the next major holiday, which will be Yule for me, the 21st of December, I decided to just do kind of do one tonight, because I wanted to do some updates on some stuff. And when you hear me talking about Sigby in the earlier part of this, whenever you can go back through sometime and watch it through, that is a name that I made up, and it is through the initials of somebody that I follow on YouTube. I mean, I almost never watch their videos anymore, but there's a lot of YouTubers that I like. I just don't watch their stuff much anymore. And this particular one, I saw something that he had put on there today, and I admire him even more for the courageousness of him doing this video to be open, honest, and vulnerable with people that he was in. He had to check himself into a rehab recently, and I guess he just must have recently got out, because he said he was in there for Halloween. So that means this past October he was in there. But he found out that he finally came to the realization, I guess, that he's an alcoholic and substance addict. So there was other things that he was doing that was just as bad as the alcohol, I guess, and I admire him for coming forward like that and letting people know, look, I might be, famous on YouTube to a point. I might have like thousands upon thousands of followers and so on and so forth, but I'm human. I make mistakes. I mess up, and when it comes to something as serious as an addiction, sometimes it does take a while before you realize, oh no, this is bad, and he took the steps that he needed to get himself into recovery. And, once you take that step and you own it, that you are an addict for whatever reason, because there's other addictions out there besides drugs and alcohol, but you own it, you do what you got to do to recover, but you will always be an addict. You will always, even if you never touch another drop, You never smoke another J or anything of that sort. You never snort another pill. You're always going to be an addict, because that stuff, you don't, even though you recover and you stop doing the stuff, it follows you. There's going to be, then it becomes the challenge of fighting the urge to do it again, which really takes a tremendous amount of strength. So I figured, using this person's initials and coming up with a name that nobody will figure out, I just said, let's call him Sigby, okay? And just leave it at that, because this is a public one, so I have to be careful what I say anyway, because, there's trolls out there and there's people out there that just be jerks about stuff and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that to him, because, if this person was, say, my friend or something, and I actually met them or anything like that, I wouldn't put their business out there. I mean, he already did. He's like publicly saying, I have this problem, but I'm doing the right thing to fix it. I'm fixing it. I'm recovering. I am, and he apparently, I'll have to watch it again, because I saved it into my witchy stuff, but my witchy stuff playlist. He got a visit during a meditation that was guided by a counselor in the rehab center he was in. He called her Hecate. I pronounce it as Hecate, but I have heard others call her Hecate. And he said she was Greek. So maybe she is. Maybe by some she's considered Greek. By others she's considered, something else. But she is necromancy, which makes sense. She something, I don't remember if he said something about the underworld that she kind of presides over, or she's in and out, or something of that nature. But he had this beautiful meditation that was like 2 hours long. And I was like, whoa, dude, I wish I could have a 2-hour long meditation. I'd come out different too. I'd be like, woo-hoo! I'd be a totally different happy me all over the place. But he said that he saw himself in a forest, and he didn't specify if it was day or night. That's irrelevant. And he said his guide said that his spirit guide would be showing up, so he's going to give him some time, and his guide just kind of backed off. And this woman with long hair, this is how he described her, showed up, and she had a dog with her, because Hecate is, she's got dogs, hounds, and stuff like that usually follow her around, or she's closely connected with, or whatever, And so it made sense. And I was like, my jaw dropped when I was like, whoa, because he said, I'm not sure if he gave like every detail of what she said to him, but I'm sure it was mind blowing. If it would be me and I saw her to that degree, I would be mind blown too. That she said that she's been with him a long time. She also presides over death, which necromancy falls into that category. Necromancy is death magic, where, you can call on the dead, and you can do spells where you can call back ancestors and different things like that. But I watched the whole thing through, and I was like, wow, that's way to go, Sigby. Good for you, man. I'm sure his family is very proud of him. I don't know the guy, probably never will, probably never meet him or anything, but I can still be proud of him too, because it takes a lot of courage to come out like that and tell everybody, I have a problem, but I'm fixing it. And when, the conversation with him and Hecate, I was just like, oh, wow. And it would be really nice if I could get myself to the point of being able to have a nice meditation like that, to where I could actually physically encounter a deity, Whether it's a Hecate or Bastet or any of the many others that I follow, be able to see them, be able to be on the same realm with them, the same plane of existence, and have them tell you that they've been with you a long time and different things, and you're just like, what? Wow, just blown away. And I follow Hecate to a point, not as much as I would like to, because I don't currently right now have a place that I can go where I can be by myself, where it's quiet. I don't have any disturbances. I don't have any distractions. I don't have someone pounding on the door, blowing up my phone, cats clawing at the door, meowing because they went in the room that I'm in, and where I could successfully do a meditation like that. But I really wish that I could find a place that I could, because that would transform my life in such a way that, I would be like celebrating endlessly, because I would feel so much better as a person. I would feel so much more enlightened myself that, oh, this was long overdue, and I just wish I could have done this, ages ago. But anyway, I don't know if you're still on. If you're not, thanks for coming. It says that you are, but, it's going on 9:00, so I don't know like what time you have to go to bed or anything. But, don't worry about anything. As I always say, don't worry about anything you might miss, or when you have to call, pop off, because you can just watch it later, and that's fine, because I looked up the clock and I was like, wait a minute, I'm surprised you're up this late. But I was thinking more of Brooke, because she's like, it's like almost after 2 there. Like in about 5 more minutes, it'll be 2 a.m. there in where she's at in England. And I did a live stream not too long ago. I'll have to go back and look through, the one that I did before this. But she popped on then, and I don't remember how long that one was, but I'm trying to do these more often again. It's just that things are still way too chaotic. But on a lighter note, I finally did at least get for a couple of people for Christmas. The only person I have left to get for is my daughter, Alicia. And I'm hopefully going to be able to do that here soon, because I was helping my mom today, and the next time I can get over there, which I'm not sure when that's going to be. I don't want to, commit myself to going tomorrow and then I can't. But she said when I get done with all the decorating that she wants done, that she would pay me something for doing it. So I'm hoping to get, between $25 and $30 would be nice, so that I will have some money to get a few things for Alicia. Because I go by the tradition, my own Wiccan personal tradition, that I have no problem exchanging gifts with my daughter, or even letting her open any gifts that I've gotten her on Yule, the 21st of December, if she wants to open them then. If she wants to wait until Christmas Day, where she's over there with all of us, and I'm going to be live streaming it anyway, that's completely fine too. But I try to leave the option open, that if she wants to open her stuff on the 21st, fine, but then she won't have anything to open from me on Christmas Day. But I got something for Mom, I got something for my brother, and I was able to get something for Maria. Chris, I didn't even try to buy for, because he's just too hard to buy for. And I got myself some stuff. Like I said earlier, I'm wearing one of the jewelry sets that I got myself. It's just earrings and a necklace. It's a gold heart with red roses in it, but it's plated metal. So, it's I don't even know how long I'm going to be able to wear it before I have to take it off, because plated metals don't work good with me. indoor storage unit. Well, that would definitely do it, huh? That's a good idea. Thank you for that. Well, depending on if I could find one that was expensive or cheap, reasonable enough. Yeah, like a camping chair. Yeah, because you want to take something that's going to be comfortable, because you're probably going to be sitting there a while. Okay, now why is my stomach itching? Sometimes when I start itching in random places, I'll freaking, open my clothes to go, okay, where are you, little bastard? And it could be a bed bug, and then I have to squish the little fucker. Storage unit, good idea. Also, if I could, and it would take me a couple of months to do this, at $149 a night especially, and this would be the hardest part for me, it could take me up to 3 months to actually get that kind of money together, where I would put back $149 each month for 3 months, and then get me a cabin at Ravenwood Castle for 3 days and just go myself, because then I would have a cabin, I would have a bed, I would have a kitchen, and I loved it there when I did that before. That was like heaven on earth to me. And doing it during an off season is always a good time, because I know from past experience and talking to the staff there, their in season seems to start in the month of May. So say with this next check, I put back the first $149, and then the end of January, the second $149, and then the end of February, the third $149. The end of February or the beginning of March, possibly, depending on what day payday falls on and this and that, because I would do it on payday. I would, because I figured it's going to take, it's going to take over $400 for 3 nights and 3 days at one of the cabins. Yes. And the cabins are in a holler. Basically, they call it Huntsman's Hollow. But let's be optimistic here, when that trip happens, and if I do end up going the end of February, it's going to be colder than crap. It's going to be literally, the middle of winter. So a lot of what is going to predetermine if I would be able to do it then is going to be the weather. Because if it's going to be too dangerous for me to attempt, because the drive's almost 2 hours to get there, I always GPS it, because I don't do it often enough that I have the map in my head that I can just get in the car and go. So I would rather do it the way I've always done it. GPS it. That way I know I'm going to get there, because I know one of the places I end up going past, because there's no reason to get off there, is Zanesville, to give you an idea. And that's just one leg of the journey. But once you get there and you see the sign that says Ravenwood Castle and it has an arrow pointing that way, you have to literally, the first part of the road is pretty level, but once you cross this little bridge area and you get to the other side of it, because the bridge ain't very big, you start going up this gravel hill. It's not too steep. It's not too awful bad. It's not like completely vertical or anything. But, you got to pay attention to what you're doing. And if there's snow and ice, you got to be even more careful, right? Because you don't want to start sliding and going backwards and none of that crap. So you go up a hill, and then once you get up to a certain point, it levels off. You make a left, and it pulls you right into the front of the castle. It pulls you right into the parking lot. So that may be what I have to do. I certainly love it there. I've been wanting to go back, but because of how expensive it is to do it, realistically, plausibly, economically, it would just be easier and the most sensible for me to just save $149 a month till I get the 400 and whatever it is. What is that? I think it's because it used to be $139 a night, but now they've raised that to $149. When it's not like during a certain season or whatever, like don't even try to go there for Christmas. Just don't, because that same cabin, $179 a night. So then 3 nights suddenly turns into over $500. Let me see, 149 times 3. Okay, so $447 is what it would cost for me to have 3 days, and unless I'm calculating incorrectly, 3 nights there, which I just, all things considered, I feel like that's the safest route for me to go. And I can only hope that if I do decide to do that, that the weather will be okay, that it won't be snow and ice, and it won't be like frigid freaking cold out, but most likely it will be frigid cold out. But as long as there ain't bad weather that I have to deal with, it's to where, I don't feel safe, feel like the drive would be safe, then I definitely will. And I've got 3 pieces of luggage, but I always end up taking 4. And one of those bags is going to be strictly ritualistic stuff. Any candles, oils, incense, ritual items, my athame. Do I want to take a wand, or something as well? My chalice, take something for a pentacle. But yeah, it would be a nice break. And I don't get to do it very often. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, because so far the longest stay that I've been able to have there has been 2 days. And that was the last time I stayed there. It was me and Maria. It was the end of September, and it was, I don't even know how many years ago now. It's been a couple at least. So September wasn't too bad. It was definitely in the off-season bracket, because there was no like major holidays or anything going on that month. So that was a big help. And, because when it's holidays, then that's when it's going to cost the most to go. Like my friend Christy that lives next door to me, her and Maria were going to go, because you can take up to 4 people to that cabin, and they don't charge you by person. So they have a bedroom that has a decently sized bed in it. Bedroom's kind of small, but it's a nice bed. It's decently comfortable. There's a futon in the main room, and there's also a loft. So depending on who goes, like if it's 3 friends, 3 females especially, and they're okay with it and they can sleep on it comfortably, 2 can sleep on the futon and 2 could sleep in the bed, or 2 could sleep on the futon, 1 could sleep in the bed, 1 could sleep in the loft. If you're lucky enough to get 4 friends to go with you. But Christy wanted to go the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of December. No. Nope. Not good. I looked it up, and I knew before I even looked it up, that because the 3rd day falls on Christmas Eve, that the price goes through the roof, and I would rather pay $149 a night than $179 a night. So me and Maria decided, no, at that price, that's not doable. And I haven't had a chance to catch up with Christy to tell her, sorry, babe, but we can't go during that time like you wanted, because it may have worked out for you, but it wouldn't work out for us, because even between the 2 of us, we can't, because the way we would do it is each of us would save back enough for 1 night. Like I would pay $179 towards it. Maria would pay $179 towards it, and Christy would pay $179 towards it. Well, I'm not capable. $179 is a big deal compared to $149 for me. Christy is working a job. I'm not. Maria is working a job. I'm not. So they have the extra money. I don't. So whenever I do catch up with Christy again, because she works, bless her, poor thing, she works a lot of double shifts. So she, sometimes don't get home until after 9 o'clock at night, and then all she wants to do is go straight to bed, So if she approaches me sometime soon or whatever, then I will give her the bad news. And I won't even say anything about the, February thing, because that would just be just for me. That would be my little break. That would be my little mini vacation. And, I might live stream it. I might, at least some of it or parts of it, I might live stream it. But then other parts where I, want to be alone, because if you're live streaming, then, I'm not going to live stream it, do a public live stream, and then, be distracted because I'm talking to a bunch of people, because then you can't benefit from the whole idea of going in the first place, meditating, having that time to yourself and, not having distractions and stuff like that. So probably about the only live streaming I would do for that event would be once I got there, got checked into the cabin and was, bringing my stuff in or something like that from the car. Or after I brought everything in from the car, then I might set up my computer here and do a little miniature live stream to say, well, I'm here, guys. I made it. Yay. And then just not do another live until after, like I get home or something like that. Because the thing about the day that I would have to leave, you have to be out of there by 11 o'clock in the morning. So I would have to get up probably as early as like 9 o'clock so that I could take advantage of the continental breakfast before I went home. You can take your own food, of course. You can take your own drinks. And yes, alcohol is allowed as long as you keep it in your cabin and, don't get stupidly drunk and be a nuisance. Which I wouldn't do. I mean, I'm a fun drunk. I'm not the type that's a nuisance, and I definitely don't pick fights with people or anything like that. Hey, Kalika. I figured you'd be back over here. Yeah, exactly. And you know me. I mean, I love my people. I mean, I'm happy if even one friend, pops on and stays for even a handful of minutes. That means the world to me. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself if I'm live streaming it. However, now, when the time comes and a group of us go, like sometime in the future, if me, Maria, and Christy do get to go together, then that I will definitely live stream, because that would be all kinds of fun. And, we could maybe do some magic and stuff that, anybody that popped on could do the magic with us if they wanted. Or if we did any spells or what have you, and they liked the spell, then it's like, well, then go ahead and, go back, watch it through again and write down the spell and try it, see what happens. Kalika, will you get off of that? Come on. If you're going to be up here, you need to get over here. Come on, over here. Over here. See this? I don't like when she does this. She stands exactly where I don't want her to, and it's where I need the mouse pad to be so I can have the, control of my cursor thing here, because it's easier to do it with the mouse than to do it with the little plate in the middle. So yeah, it's something to look forward to. I mean, the only drawback, of course, is going when it's that cold. But, I feel like at this point I owe it to myself, and it's probably really, truly the only break that even I can turn around and say, oh yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. Have some solitude, have some alone time. You can go up to the castle night and day. Kalika, come on, dang it. Will you? No, you are not going to sit there. Come on now. Jiminy Christmas. Can't you just lay down? Jeez, cat. This is most annoying when she does this. You know, she's just got to walk back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then sometimes she'll sit down on the arm of the couch for a few minutes before she'll move and finally get over here where I really want her. Now, come on. Lay down. You're getting me mad. Lay down, Kalika. People don't want to see your tail flashing around. Come on. Lay down. Seriously. Lay down. Thank you. I'm going to string you up by your tail. Because, you know, me and cold don't do very well. But, I mean, I would make sure I was bundled. Like, you know, I would have to spend at least the day before, for sure, going through my clothes, maybe having to dig through the mountain of clothes in my bedroom to get the warmest clothes that I have, make sure they're clean and everything. I'd be able to wear my nice outfits, which I haven't been able to wear on here yet, I don't think, since I got them. But I got myself a couple of really nice Christmassy outfits this year. I did my Christmas shopping on Temu, so you know, I did. I thought I got some really great deals, like this right here, for instance. This is full of makeup. This whole box is all new makeup. And I actually wore some of it today when I went over to see Mom. And it wasn't that much, you know, because I did it at the right time. I did it when they had like the Black Fridays going on, the Black Friday thing that they do like around Thanksgiving, and then the Cyber Monday. So I was able to really get some nice stuff. And by getting myself stuff, then at least I know I'm going to get something nice for Christmas. And it keeps other people from stressing out that maybe want to get me something, but they don't know what to get me. So it's like, you know what? I'll just get myself some stuff. So that's what I did. But I also got some stuff for at least a couple of other people. And, you know, I just go with that. But I've got one of the outfits I've got is it's a real pretty red and gold, which it's in a bag next to me, but I can't show it to you right now because I got Miss Kitty on my lap. And the socks that I'm wearing right now, they're adorable. You'd love them. I don't know if you have any cats yourself or any other pets, but on the bottom of one of them it says, "I can't get up right now." And the other one says, "The cat is on my lap." So they're black socks with white lettering. Oh, yeah, you are? Good. Temu? Oh, yeah, man. The only drawback so far, and I mean, I'm dealing with it, you know, is the fact that it can take up to 11 days, and they say that on the website. It can take up to 11 days for the stuff to get here, but they also give you a definitive date. If it's not here by this date, then they'll give you like $5 towards your next purchase or something. I don't even know. But the rest of my stuff came today, and it was a smaller bag, but the first bag had the majority of the stuff that I got. The second bag had my two of the jewelry, the other two jewelry sets that I got for myself, and it came with these sunglasses. They call them designer glasses or fashion glasses or something like that. But they look to me like they're amber glasses, like, you know, that people use a lot of times for night driving. And Temu, they need to be more clear about how the stuff is going to be delivered, because every time I would look on the website to see where my order was, or to see how far away or how much longer it might be, you know, before it finally shows up, it made me believe that the stuff was going to be delivered by UPS. Now, UPS, we do have a driver around here. We don't always get our driver, but I say our driver because he knows us. The 16 years that me and Chris have been living here, he has delivered a lot of stuff to us. He knows to come to the back door. He knows that the majority of the time, one of us, usually me, is looking out the window because, especially if we know a package is coming. So I thought UPS was going to deliver it. But then Chris, doing his little technological mumbo jumbo that he knows how to do that I don't, found out that, oh, no. UPS isn't delivering it. UPS was just a midway point. They got it and took it to the post office so that the parcel carriers of the post office brought the package. And I was like, okay, that's confusing. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Actually, no, I don't. So other than that, that I really, so far, I have no issues with them. I got myself some nice winter socks, 10 pair. They're not too thick, which I like because the boots that I got from them, it's one of those, you got to wear as thin as you can, socks or trouser socks or even knee-high hose or pantyhose, whatever you got, because they have the fake fur inside of them. So they keep your feet nice and warm. But if you wear, at least for me, if I wear socks that are too thick, the boots, even with the laces the way they are, because I have to keep them wide because my feet are wide. I have to, if I put too thick socks on, it makes it tight. It makes the boots too tight across my feet, and I can't wear them because it becomes very uncomfortable for me. I've gotten boots from them. Let's see. One of the outfits I started to say is a red and gold top. It has a pretty Christmas tree on the front. It has snowflakes on the arms or something, I think. And then I had to buy, it didn't have a matching bottom set that you could get with it, but I found a black pair that had snowflakes, black and white, that had snowflakes on it. And it's generic enough that it matches with it. So I kind of made my own match that way. I got me a snowman top and bottom that do match. And I also got me a black one, top and bottom, that match. That's black, but it has colored Christmas trees with lots of pretty lights on them and stuff. I'll wear each one on here, the next couple of times I do a live stream. And I got myself a real pretty purple gnome. And I got myself a pair of leggings that are designed to look like purple jeans that I wear with my purple top. Yeah. So, like, got myself a pair of rainbow pants that the waistband around the top here has a little bit of color in it. And they're flare bottoms. So they're actually bell bottoms. And the flare bottoms have colors in them. Like one leg has one type of colors. The other leg has another type of colors. I just love them to death. And I can wear them with a lot of different colors. Like I can wear them with red. I can wear them with yellow. I can wear them with purple. I can wear them with blue. And I love them. I got me a pair of nice warm gloves. I got myself a blanket that has a gnome on it with a giant rainbow colored pot leaf. And it says, "Let it be." And he's doing a peace sign, and he's like holding a J in his hand or something or another. No, he's holding the leaf, and then he's holding a J in his hand and says, "Let it be." It's a black background, and it has green pot leaves in it, and then the big rainbow pot leaf he's holding on to, which I actually have a diamond painting of that same exact thing. And I got a pair of black socks with green pot leaves on it. And I got 2 of those blankets and 2 of the pairs of socks, because one of the blankets and one of the pairs of socks I got from my brother. I also got him a Pennywise mug because he likes Pennywise from the movie It, the evil clown. he got a mug from the Halloween store this past year, but it was all fucked up and he can't drink from it. And he was all disappointed and everything. You know, understandable because he still paid like $8 and something for it. And I ended up giving him $5 out of my wallet that I really couldn't afford to do. So he basically paid $3 for that mug. You know, because I love my brother, but I didn't want to hear him whine and cry and piss and moan about spending $8 on a mug and it was too broke. You couldn't even, you know, use it. So I sacrificed money I didn't really have to sacrifice just to shut him up and make him happy. So for my, I got him a Pennywise mug. I got him a Pennywise toboggan, which is white. Oh, okay. So I did show that. Okay. I see. I don't remember. I didn't even remember that I showed it. Okay. So I got him a mug and a toboggan that match. And I got him a blanket and a pair of socks that go together, you know. And he don't even know that I got them for him. He don't even know I got him some additional gifts. Because way before Christmas was even as close as it is now, I took him 5 diamond paintings one time that I went up there to see him and spend some time with him. I took him a bead case with, I think it was at least 30 jars, little bead jars in it. And I just gave them to him. I got him a box of Frankenberry cereal this year for Halloween and a box of Boo Berry because those are his 2 favorite cereals and they only have them during Halloween. So I got him one of each of those. And, you know, and I told him, I said, this way, when I brought him the paintings and stuff, I said, this way, if I'm not able to get you anything else for Christmas, this is your early Christmas. And he was just blown away. He couldn't believe that all 5 of those paintings was his. And I was like, well, yeah. He's like, oh, wow. He's still working on his Vader painting, but he works on it so little. You know, it's hard for him to really get motivated, you know, to do much of anything. And I know how that feels because I'm the same way. I don't know if I showed this or not on here, but, and you're only going to see part of it. This is the diamond painting I'm working on right now. It's a Christmassy one. And I've only made it up to this row right here. The rest of this is not done yet, but I've only made it this far. And I usually, because some of them come folded over like this, so I'll peel back the clear cellophane or clear stuff that comes with it to keep it from, you know, getting messed up. And here, I can show you the whole thing. It's really cute. And then when I get to a certain point on this half, then I'll unfold it so that I can do the other half. See, this is the whole painting. So it's got like an elf. I don't know if that's a gnome up there with him or if it's another elf. There's a Christmas tree over here. There's snowflakes. There's presents. And, you know, I just thought it was really cute. And it's like one of very, you know, let's see, one of 3, a total of 3 Christmas paintings that I have. And I'm trying to get this one done before Christmas, or if I'm lucky, before Yule, so I can put it up on my door. Because it's one of those that, you know, it says welcome down the one side, and the letters are white, and then it has 3 different colors of green in the little bar on the side that says welcome. Maria gave me a Christmas one that's the Grinch. And the other Christmas one I have is it's a little, I've never seen a wreath so tiny. It's a little Christmas wreath. It's got a snowman on it about yay big. And on his belly is a beautiful little Christmas scene. It has a man, a dog, a sleigh, a little boy, a house, snow. And I mean, you would think, how do you see? But you can see it crystal clear. And the snowman's like no bigger than that. I mean, it's adorable. And it don't take very long to do because Those type of paintings, you don't have the entire canvas that you have to fill. You only have sections that you have to fill. And this is another one that I'll be doing at some point that is like that. You don't have to do the whole thing. You only do portions of it where it's marked that you put the beads. So like this one, this butterfly is only 10 colors. Just 10 colors. And when I get this one done, I'm thinking about possibly giving it to my brother to put on his wall. Or I may change my mind and I may decide to keep it. I don't know. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that he got into it at least a little bit, because during the winter, sometimes one of the greatest challenges is having stuff to do, because a lot of times the weather's so bad you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to go out, and a lot of us, we don't have the money to go out. So you might as well have some stuff that you can do at home that will at least bring you some kind of joy, and it'll help pass the time. And Jim, that lives with my mom, he's doing diamond paintings. Maria is obsessed with them. She's addicted. She's got so many done that if she sold every single one of them that she has right now that's completed, she could make a little bit of chunk of change, but I put it out there and I offered to sell some for her if she wanted. And it's like, I'm not asking for any of the money. I'll give it all to you if you want. But it would be nice to be given some of the money, for helping getting it sold for you. But if she wanted the whole amount, I'd give it to her, because if I'm going to sell one of my paintings, not framed, but with all the excess trimming around the edges cut off, $20. $20. If it's a smaller painting, like I wouldn't feel right charging any more really than $5. But if it's framed, see, that's when I have no problem charging $25 or $30 for one that I would only charge $20 if it was unframed. Because how I would display them in my shop or store would be, some of them, it's like if you want to buy an unframed one, $20. Cash. No checks, no money orders, nothing like that. I want cash, because I can't make past a certain point. I can't make past a certain amount, rather, because if I do, then, SSI would yank my check, and I'm not going to have my check yanked over something like that. But if you want it framed, and to see if I do it electronically, because originally I thought about giving them my email address that's tied to my PayPal account, get their name, address information, phone number or whatever if they want to give it. If not, that's fine. And then tell them, it just, when I see the money is in my PayPal account, then I will send you your piece, which I would have to number the piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and stuff like that. Because it would just be easier. But then I think it was Chris pointed out to me, he said the only problem with that is if you do it electronically like that, SSI would find out. And then they would start yanking money out of my check. Like if I made $20 for a diamond painting, I wouldn't put it past them to take $20 out of my check, and I wouldn't be able to do a damn thing about it. And that would piss me off. These are the glasses. Now that Kalika got down, these are a lot better than the ones I have in the car, and they look like the ambers that I have in the car. So I've got this piece of hair. You get that fucking piece of hair sticking up that just drives you nuts. Is that it? No. And it's just bugging me. Nope, that's not it. There it is. And it'll bug the shit out of me unless I cut it. Because I don't like it sticking up like that. It bugs me to death. It's like I'm not trying to sport the alfalfa look. But that's some of the drawbacks of cutting my own hair. And as you can see, since the last time I trimmed it, the shit's already growing again. So I'm going to have to trim it again. But anyway, so if I do cash only, I still, I want to try not to, I don't want to go too expensive with my paintings, but I don't want to go too cheap either. And as I said earlier on the live, I would be using my resin pieces in my shop. I would be selling those. I would be my crochet items, other hobby and craft stuff, that I might decide to get into and make. But try to keep my prices reasonable. And, as far as the whole taxes thing, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna worry about taxes because get up there. Hello, don't give me no crap. Because I look at it this way. We get taxed to death as it is by the government. And look what the whole cannabis thing that just recently passed. And people are still waiting, I know I am, to be able to walk into a dispensary and actually buy it. And I'm like, you just want to choke somebody. Because it's like, that is just not fair. That is not fair. It's not right. And it's probably, pissing a lot of people off, I'm sure. I'm just one of many. It's like, okay, you guys finally passed this law or whatever. You say, okay, you can have it. You can smoke it. You can grow up to 6 plants in a single household, blah, blah, blah. Because at first they said you could grow up to 12 plants. Now they're saying you can only grow 6. You ain't going to get many buds out of 6 plants. Because if the government don't feel like they're getting their fair share and their hand in the cookie jar, then what's the point of doing it? Because that's all they care about is how much they can put in their pocket from legalizing it. That's all they care about. Because that's the government for you. So I have no idea how long it might be before the frickin' dispensaries even open. Before I can actually physically walk in there and buy some that I know is regulated, so I know I don't have to worry about it being something that's going to kill me. If I smoke it or whatever, it's like, Jiminy Christmas. It's annoying. It's very freaking annoying. But anyway, on the positive, excuse me if I can even think of any positives right now. I'm trying. Because you know me, when I start talking about negative stuff or stuff that irritates me or makes me mad or agitates me or whatever, I try to balance out the energy with something positive. But then sometimes I draw a blank, and then my mind goes, huh? What are we doing? Anyway, I hope you're doing good. I hope you and your family is doing okay. I don't know, what the weather's like, there in Carolina where you guys are at. But here it's pretty cold out. When Chris is in there smoking a cigarette, he opens the window, and I appreciate that he does that. But even in him doing that, the walls are still stained with nicotine. And I'm sure me smoking doesn't help either. But he also does that because he's trying to eliminate me taking in secondhand smoke as much as possible. Because as we well know, secondhand smoke from a regular cigarette, it can kill you. So, there's, other than the heartbreaking about Michael and the heartbreaking about David and the fact that Rupert hasn't even tried to get a hold of me, my other son, my youngest. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't get on Facebook much, so I messaged him, I think, or I accepted his friend request, but I don't even know how long the friend request was on Facebook before I even found it. And I really don't like the name that his foster mother gave him, because I feel like, and this is one of those things that my witch thinks are always right. 9 times out of 10, they're always right. When I say this, I believe, Kalika, oh, you get on my freaking nerves. Lay down, dang it. His foster mother purposely changed his name to what she did because she didn't like who I named him after. Because, now get this, you want to talk about petty, stupid, and ridiculous, I think. Childish, and I think she did it just to be a bitch. Will you, Kalika, come on. Will you turn around here and lay down if you're going to be up here? Come on. Lay down. Lay down. You know my rule. Lay down. Thank you. She changed his name because I named him after an actor that I greatly admired that was in a movie about witches and wizards, and that being Harry Potter. The name I gave my youngest son when he was born was Rupert Michael Mabius, after Rupert Grint, who his name was Rupert Michael Grint. Rupert Grint, who played Ron, Harry's best friend. She changed his name to Noah, from the Bible, Justin Wise. And I'm like, you effing bitch. Yeah, so, and I think she did it to be a bitch. I think she did it because she's a religious zealot. I'm not saying her religion is wrong, but I really have a hard time believing Exactly. I mean, it was bad enough that I didn't get to raise my son myself. It was bad enough that Children's Services took him out of my arms, or literally took him away from me 2 days after he was born. Right out of the hospital. I didn't even get to take him home, Vicki. We had everything that baby needed. We showed them pictures proving we had everything he needed. And they did it anyway because of a statement I made. And the reason why I made that statement, it was unfair for them to do what they did. Because I was under duress. I was speaking out of fear. And I would never in a million years would I do this to one of my kids. But shortly after he was born, a social worker came into my room, and because I don't know if I've ever shared this story. If I have, forgive me for repeating it, but this is just how much this hurt me. Social worker came into my room and started asking me a bunch of questions because they wanted to make sure I was mentally sound enough to be worthy to take my baby out of the hospital and take him home with me. I knew from the moment that social worker walked in the room that they may call them social workers, but in my opinion, they work for children snatchers, which, everybody else calls children's services. They call them, but I call them children snatchers because how many homes have they destroyed? And I can tell you some messed up stories from a guy that does this for a living. And he exposes these people, these people that take these kids in and, give them a home and all this stuff. And then they kill them off and just all kinds of horror stories. I've heard some serious horror stories. And this guy, he makes, or I don't know about now, but he used to make a living exposing these people for unethical proceedings, because that's what it was. So the statement I made was, if anybody tries to take my baby away from me, meaning Rupert, I will kill myself and my baby. And when I made that statement, I gave them exactly what they needed, and I was not of sound mind. I was under duress, and I was speaking out of fear, because what reason did a social worker have to even walk in the room in the first place? Answer me that. Okay? And I know why. Because of my history with children snatchers, the fact that they have been an influence in my life when I was a kid myself. They are the very motherfuckers that put me in Rosemont against my will. And they lied to me 3 different times in a single day. The third lie they told me that day was the lie of I wasn't going home, making me think I was not, they just wanted to talk to me and this and that. They wanted to take me in there and everything. But I had to watch my mom drive away, and knowing that I wasn't going with her. And there wasn't anything I could do about it. They violated, in my opinion, my right to go home if I wanted. They forced me to stay there. I didn't want to be there. But yeah, I mean, on the flip side of that, I met you and got a good friend out of it. And I'm thankful for that. Believe me. I do try to think about the positive that happened from that situation. But the bad outweighed the good in a way, because of, how people was always teasing me. A lot of the girls there were calling me crybaby because I cried all the time, and, that whole horrible thing. But anyway, so next thing I know, I got moved into another room, I think because they needed the room I was in or something of that nature. My mom, it was the day that I was going home. That's what it was, or something, I think. But for some reason, I was in a different room. I don't remember why exactly, or I don't think it was the same room. But anyway, I was getting dressed. They were giving me the okay to go home. My mother was on her way, because I called her and said, Mom, they've released me. Me and Rupert are about to come. So she came to the hospital, her and Jim. They came up on the elevator. Mom had a car seat. She had a car seat. Exactly. And like I said, I try to think about the positives of what came out of Rosemont, and I don't discount any of them, but if I could go back in time and not make that statement that day, I would really love to see how things would have turned out, how they would have been totally different. And Rupert would have been raised. He would have been able to keep his name. And he would have had just as much of a loving home as his foster mom ever gave him. And so, yeah, that's difficult for me, because all 3 of my boys have a history with FCCS. 2 of them taken all those years ago. You probably know that story too, because I've probably mentioned it on here a million times. First it was Michael and David, and then later it ended up becoming Rupert. But now Rupert is 18 years old. If he so chose. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm sorry for, how many other families have been destroyed in similar circumstances, where assumptions were made that nobody had a right making, and they took someone's kid, and it screws you up. It's hard to come back from that. But the fact that Rupert hasn't, as far as I know, because like I said, I haven't really checked on Facebook much or anything, but maybe I'll message him and just see if he even bothers to respond, and just let him know, sweetie, now that you're 18 years old and your foster mom should not be able to legally stop you, if you so choose of your own free will to come and see us or want to come and visit or something of that nature, here's my number. We're still at the same address. Here's the address. I have unlimited talk and text. Call or text me anytime. If I don't answer and it goes in the voicemail, text me and let me know that you left me a voicemail so that it guarantees that I'll listen to it. But I would love to be able to have my son in our lives now that he's of age, and that bitch shouldn't be able to stop him. But I don't want him to feel like he's being forced either. I don't want him to feel like he has to do it out of obligation just because we want to see him. I want him to do it because he wants to do it, because he chooses to do it, and I would do that with any of my children. But even though I haven't been able to prove this, I probably could devise a spell, or maybe even have, Hecate, if I could, if I do my trip in February, maybe I'll finally have a successful meditation, and Hecate will pay me a visit, and she'll be able to finally clarify, without a doubt, that my son David is in fact dead. That's going to be another, knife to my heart, because David, I only got to have him for 4 years of his life. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know what that poor boy's been through. I don't know what Rupert's life has been like. And I feel bad that I never even tried to reach out to him. And the reason for that is, and this is one of the things I need to explain to him, is that I'm sorry that I never tried to reach out to him on Facebook and tried to have some kind of a relationship with him, but explained to him the reason behind that is because I felt like his foster mom, and I won't even give her the satisfaction of mentioning her name because I can't stand her, that she would interfere, or that she would be looking over his shoulder or something, because she would be terrified to death that I was going to tell him something that she would not approve of. Fucking bitch. No, David, the reason why there's a good possibility that he's dead is this past year on my mom's birthday, because I don't remember if you were on that live stream or not. I know Brooke was. And, we were at mom's, obviously, and I did a live stream because it was her birthday. And it was a way that, at least some of our people, like you and Brooke and a handful of people that know me and know my mom and stuff like that, would be able to be there for her birthday when they couldn't otherwise, be there. Some point during the live stream, Jim just very casually says to me, first, I think he he asked me if David ever had a breathing problem. And I thought about that for a few minutes, and I honestly couldn't remember if he did or not. But now that I think back on it, I think he actually did. I remember him getting a couple of treatments before when he was younger in the hospital because he was having breathing issues. So that may have been part of what killed him. But Jim and the way he said it, just, it was like Jim went into the kitchen, got the biggest knife Mom had, walked into the front room, and during the live stream just shoved the damn thing into my chest all the way up to the hilt. That's what it felt like, because he said, he passed away. Like it was nothing. Like it was, like there was, it wasn't a big deal. Like he did it in a very dismissive way. I wanted to punch him. I literally wanted to get up and punch him or cuss him out. Say, you son of a bitch, how dare you have that kind of attitude and say it that way during a live stream when this is supposed to be a happy occasion, and then you just dismissively tell me he passed away. Like it's no big deal, you fucking bastard. I wanted to kill him. I wanted to fucking kill him. And oh, I was livid. And Brooke, she was like, what? I mean, the only person that I would believe right now is Pastor Toby. If he told me and could clarify and even maybe give me a picture of David, because the family that adopted him, they changed his name too. They changed his name to Adam J. Green. Of all the names in the entire world that they could have picked, I have no problem with the J. Green part. Yeah. But his first name, I really wish they wouldn't have named him Adam, because of the simple fact, and this may make me cry, so I apologize ahead of time if it does, but you'll understand why when I explain it. My second marriage was Adam, Alicia's dad. And Alicia was the only child between me and Adam. All of my other kids had different dads, just like Alicia does. Adam was abusive. And back when we were living in Marysville, there would be times, because back when we were in Marysville for up until the year of 97, when Alicia was born, it was just me, Adam, David, and Michael. I would go out to run errands, sometimes go to the grocery store, and stuff like that. Didn't really feel like taking the boys because, let's face it, they were young. They tend to act out and become a problem in the store, and it just becomes a big mess. So I entrusted my husband, which me and Adam didn't even legally get married until after Alicia was born. So that would have been sometime in the year 97. His form of discipline was, in my opinion, not discipline at all. Adam was a raging alcoholic. As far as I know, he still is. Don't really care. I don't involve myself with him. I don't socialize with him. I don't call him. I don't text him. I only go around him if my daughter asks me to. And during those times, I try to be social. I try to be positive. But there's a part of me that just wants to choke him. Okay? To give you one example, one of the times I entrusted him with my boys while I was gone. Don't remember how long I was gone. Don't remember where I went, what I did. All that's irrelevant. He made them sit on the kitchen floor up against the cabinets and threatened to cut their throats if they moved. That was his idea of discipline. And I forget how far into the future after that, Michael finally told me this. And he probably threatened them that if they said anything to me, or if they ever breathed a word of this to me, then he probably threatened to kill them for that too. That's not discipline. That's abuse. And that is psychotic. Okay? I felt like this high. I felt like a piece of shit when my son finally told me that was, like I said, just one occasion where Adam's idea of discipline was outright abuse, and it was psychotic. It was not discipline. And I was horrified. So David, being taken from me when he was 4. Alicia was she was barely walking, and I was given a couple of pictures of him one time by one of the bitches that worked at FCCS, Myra Yonkin. I hope that bitch burns in hell. She gave me a picture of David, and he was like 6 at the time. So 2 years had passed since they took him before I even got that picture. So imagine feeling bad for feeling like you haven't been there for your boys like you would have liked to have been, like you should have had the right to be, but it just wasn't possible. And now feeling like you've lost all 3 of them. Not a very happy feeling. And Alicia, she's just too busy with her own life to have any time for me. And that hurts. Because in that sense, I feel like she's the only child I have left. Now, I'm not expecting her to just stop living her life, to come and see me, but I just wish that she could see me more, more often. I wish that her and I could have a weekend together or something, do some kind of mom-daughter thing, and she did say to me the last time I saw her that, because I told her, I said, I wish we could do something together, as mother and daughter, some kind of fun trip or something that we could take that we've never done before. Because I wasn't allowed to raise her either. So imagine being a mother, having 4 beautiful children that you love dearly, but society saying you were an unfit mother and didn't deserve to raise any of them. Because that's pretty much how I feel. Because now they're all grown. One of them's dead, but Like I said, the only way that I would truly 100% believe that, no offense, Hecate, would be if Pastor Toby said, "Yeah, he's gone," and showed me like a picture, and then I most likely I would feel it as soon as I saw the picture. I'd feel it, and I'd probably start crying like I am right now. Alicia, I was only really truly allowed 2 years of her life. Yeah, it does. Because she's like 26 right now, so that means I've missed out on 24 years of her life that I will never get back. That I've never blamed her, for any of it. It's Adam and that damn family that adopted him. That, in my opinion, are the worst family, and they are the less deserving. They were, in my opinion, the most unworthy to raise my children. Yeah. She grew up around Adam. And for a while there, until, he passed away, Herman, which was a friend of Adam's. And it took a lot of years, but, in the end, me and Herman ended up actually becoming friends. Well, Adam being a raging alcoholic, Alicia's never talked about it, and I'm not a mother that's going to press her for the information or the details, because I feel like going through it once was enough. Why would I want to put her through it again? But it wasn't happy. He made a lot of demands of her. He put a lot of restrictions on her. Things that he would allow her to do, things he wouldn't allow her to do. Adam and Herman raised her. I didn't. Because for a long time, they both made me feel like I was unworthy of raising my own daughter, and that they did a better job of raising her than I ever could. Because I was never given the chance. So how the hell do they know how I would have been able to raise her? She would go on lavish trips with them. She has done things in her young life that I would have never dreamed of doing. And she's never invited me to be a part of a single one of them. How's that supposed to make me feel? It makes me feel like I don't exist, that I'm the least important person to her, that I'm not worthy of even being asked to go with her on any of it. She's gone on trips with her friends. She's gone on trips by herself. Never got invited to any of them. So the long and short of it is, she was not happy. He didn't treat her well. And there was a few times when he hurt her so badly, and his harshness and verbal and emotional and mental abuse, that she would call me crying. And this was mostly back when she was little, when she was like a teenager and stuff. I didn't get to go to her graduation. That ripped my heart out. I'm never going to get that back. I got to go to the graduation party, but it was at Donald's lavish, high-rise fucking penthouse in the middle of downtown overlooking the Scioto River, and he was 12 floors up. If you would have seen this place, you would have been like, damn, I wish I could live in a place like this. When you walked into the lobby, it was like walking into a 5-star fucking hotel. You had to push a button on a call box just to get permission to park in their fucking garage. Okay? And I blame that on Naomi. And I also blame it on myself. Because I should have put my foot down. I should have let the bitch out of the box and told Naomi, fuck you, you fucking bitch. How dare you even ask such a thing of me? On such an important day as today, when you know my daughter's graduating. Naomi decided she wanted to go to some damn park she didn't even know she could remember how to get to, because she had me believing, oh, we'd be back in plenty of time. We wasn't. Did Naomi care? No, she didn't give a damn, because all she cared about was getting her fucking way. Adam waited for me at Mom's, at the old place, not where she is now. He waited for me for a whole half an hour, because he would have been my only way in to see my only daughter's graduation, Vicky. My first kid to graduate, and that fucking bitch took it away. And I let her do it. And I got to live with that for the rest of my life. And somehow forgive myself for doing it. And that's really fucking hard to do. Because by the time me and Naomi finally almost got back to Mom's, Mom called me, because her and Jim went up to the place where the graduation was being held, and proceeded to tell us that they couldn't even get in because some little fucking sticker was required that we didn't get when we got the invite in the mail, that we would have had to present to the motherfuckers at the gate to be able to get into the parking area so we could go to Alicia's graduation. And because of that fucking sticker, if Jim and Mom would have went through the gate and they would have parked, these motherfuckers at the gate proceeded to tell them, oh, you can still park here, but you see that row of tow trucks over there? They'll tow your car as soon as you do. My mom is telling me this on the fucking phone as I'm about to turn the corner to drive up to her house. I was like, no, not this. No. I cried that whole fucking day. And several days after. And now, any of my other kids that ever graduate, I'm not going to see that either. I didn't see David's graduation. I don't know if he even graduated. I don't know if he went to college. I don't know anything past the 4 years that I was allowed to have him in my life before FCCS destroyed that and took him away from me. And Michael was not in high school long enough to graduate because he got put in Marion, where he's at now. But yeah, as far as how Adam treated Alicia, he treated her very badly. I know he did. She doesn't have to tell me. I'm sure there were times when I would just be going through my day and feeling fine, and then all of a sudden I would just feel the crushing weight and maybe even start crying for what at first appeared to me to be no reason. because I'm not going to push her for information like that unless she wants to share it with me. You know, I don't want to put her through it twice. So I didn't get to see any of my kids graduate. My son David's dead. And Michael might as well be, because he's turned on me. And I'm trying to and that would be, I don't know, maybe some kind of comfort or acknowledgement if she did, but somehow I really don't have any reason to believe that she's even so much as watched a single live stream of mine, because she just don't have the time, and won't make the time. I don't mind you being up here, Kalika. I just don't want you going over on the arm of the couch right now, because that's where I need the mouse to be and the mouse pad, and I can't do that if you're sitting on it. Now, come on, dang it. If you're going to be up here, you need to lay down, okay? That's all I'm asking. I don't mind you being up here, but you need to lay down. Please. I'm already upset. I don't need to be yelling at you. Oh, I hope Michael does see this live sometime, so he knows just how deep he's cut me, and how bad he screwed up this time, because he's just gone too far. And that's not okay. Lay down, please. Wouldn't that be a shocker? If she is, she's never mentioned to me that she was. Would it be nice to know? Yeah. But then I feel like if she is one of my followers, then why hasn't she ever brought up anything that I've ever done on any of the lives, unless she's never seen any? You know? But on the off chance that someday she does watch this, Alicia, I love you. What happened with Michael? Oh, be ready, because I don't know if there's going to be more tears with this one or not, because this is pretty deep wound that he caused me. Early November, I mentioned this earlier on this live stream, but so you don't have to worry about going, because I don't remember at what point in the live I mentioned it, but early November sometime, this past November, Michael had been texting with Chris off and on through this app, I guess, that you can do on the phone for loved ones that are incarcerated, that I knew nothing about. I knew about JPay, where you could like get on there and do e-letters with them and stuff. And they could respond. But in order to do the e-letters, you had to buy postage on the site, and you had to send, like one letter would cost you one postage stamp. And a lot of times I would spend, I think it was like $12 and get like 50 postage stamps, 60, something like that. Sometimes I even went so far as to give Michael 30 of those stamps. Other times I would give him like 10 or whatever, so I would have more so that I could e-letter with him, right? Well, that was the only text or similar to texting related that I knew. I didn't know about this whole GTL thing that's new where you can text with your loved ones and stuff that Chris has been doing, I guess, off and on pretty regular with Michael. It's only on Chris's phone that I can access them, though. There were several lengthy paragraphs, text messages that he sent to get everything out that he wanted to say. Some of the highlights were, I've abandoned him. He doesn't exist to me. I have forgotten him. I'm a backstabber. I'm two-faced. I'm unreliable. I'm a public enemy number one because I've been going up more often to Mount Gilead to see my brother, but I won't take the time to go see Michael and Marion, which is really close to Mount Gilead. Oh, Mom can be all affectionate, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, if you would have read these text messages, Vicky, you would be sitting there going, he did not say that. He did. And those are just parts of them. I remember. There's been times, for instance, when even though we really didn't have the money to do it, we would put time on Michael's phone so that he could call us once in a while, right? But the thing with that is you only get 20-minute conversations when you do that, and you have to do it through that fucking GTL site that I just want to kill every one of those motherfuckers. Because of them, and because they refuse to fix the shit, and after numerous times and numerous different ways that we've tried to get them to fix it, along with other people that they're also screwing at a time with their loved ones because GTL won't get the shit fixed because they don't want them to have time with their loved ones. They don't want them to, the way they treat the incarcerated is they're worthless pieces of shit that should be, have the jail lifted up and they should be thrown under it. Okay. But Michael basically, in a nutshell, he turned on me and he's making assumptions where he has no right. He thinks that I've been going up to see Carl, but yet I won't take the time to see him. It's not that I don't want to see him. It's because GTL won't get their shit straight and fix what needs to be fixed so that we could go see him or that we could have a video visit with him. And GTL's pretty much taken over everything there with that fucking place in Marion. So my son turns on me and says all these horrible fucking things to me and blames me and makes it like he wants nothing to do with me anymore. Well, okay, fine. I wash my hands of it. I'll never speak to you again. I won't be there when you get out. You can find another way home, and while you're at it, find another mother. I quit. Because this time, you've gone too far. And sorry, my cat's making it difficult. Soon, I don't know. Sorry, I accidentally shrunk the screen down. Apparently, back a couple of months ago, may have been in November, I can't remember exactly, there was a certain date that was a possible release date for him. But I guess things didn't go that way, and now it's still up in the air as far as like how soon he gets out. So he may have to do the remainder of his sentence, and the bitch that sentenced him was a lesbian, man-hating fucking bitch. And I think she did it on purpose. I really do. She's not a judge anymore, so what does that tell you? Apparently she's been busted for some other shady shit she's done to people. The original sentencing was 18 years. And at the time, when we were there at the hearing and heard the verdict, me, Alicia, and Philip, my brother Carl's oldest, so Michael's cousin, my nephew, and Michael's foster mom, we're in the courtroom. And as a matter of fact, we were on the bench right up front. We figured out that if they made him do his entire sentence, by the time he got out, now keep in mind, Alicia's already 26. So if they make him stay for his entire sentence, and the way they set it up, we figured that they purposely did it that way so that he would have no choice. By the time he gets out, Alicia will be 30, so that's at least 4 more years he's got to do in there before he even gets out. He has filed endless judicial early releases. None of them took. He has asked and expected and assumed countless times that we could just wave some magic wand out here and make this shit happen. That we couldn't. So that we could give him a greater possibility, a greater chance of getting released. And the things he was asking us to do, we couldn't do. And when we couldn't do them, he got pissed at us for it. So basically, you might as well say he's blaming us for not helping him, or making it seem like we're not trying to help him in any way, which is not true, to help him get early release. November, I think it was like 15th or somewhere around there, or whatever the hell month it was, that was a possible release date. But Michael didn't want me to know about it because if things didn't go that way or go the way we were hoping, that he didn't want me to know the date. And then when the date came and went and he didn't get out, I would be all hurt and upset and blah, blah. But the funny thing is, where exactly did his concern for my emotions and feelings go from, I don't want mom to know because it might not happen, to I'm a backstabbing, abandoned him, don't give two shits about him. I'm basically, in a nutshell, I'm a worthless mother that doesn't deserve the title to be called his mother anymore. When did that transition happen? Exactly, because the text messages that Chris showed me was early November. And if I remember correctly, one of them was dated November 7th. And they all may have been November 7th. I don't know. I just remember, I'm pretty sure one of them at least said November 7th. That he sent those nasty, mean, cruel, heartless, downright just petty text messages against me. So that's why when I say I feel like I've lost all three of my boys, I literally do feel like I've lost all three of my boys. And my daughter isn't exactly making any effort to be a part of my life. And I try not to mention, us doing stuff together and stuff like that too often, because I don't want her to think that I'm trying to force her to give me her time, attention, effort, energy, and all that. I'm not expecting her to stop living her life. I just wish that I could be more a part of it. And because of how little that we can actually see her, or even so much as catch her on the phone, is little to none. Now, she seems to be pretty confident that she's going to be here for Christmas, and I hope so. I don't know if I'm going to get to see her on Yule or not, because that's our Wiccan Christmas. It's also winter solstice, and the biggest percent of society considers that the first day of official winter is December 21st. But if I care so little for my kids, why would I break down and cry to the length I did the day they sentenced him? Yeah, exactly. And, that's all I try to do. And I know that. I know that it's out of my control. And so I do. I just, my only outlet, I guess, for my feelings and emotions is putting it on here, with my people that I know can understand me and where I'm coming from. Even though this is a public one, so anybody can see it, but I don't feel like I'm getting so personal that, I'm saying stuff that I don't want people to know. I mean, so I do back off for the most part, and I let it go, but it's never going to stop hurting. It's never going to stop hurting, and it's never going to stop feeling like it's just this gaping hole inside my heart that I'm never going to be able to fill because of what's been taken from me, that I don't feel I deserved, and I'm just, trying to get through each day. But it's like 10:30. I mean, if you got to go, hun, it's okay. I understand. I don't know what time you got to get up and go to work tomorrow or anything. So, don't try to stay up past your bedtime for me. I don't want you to be a zombie at work tomorrow or anything. Because, I say that out of consideration for my people, because I know that, some of you do have jobs and stuff, and I feel bad for Brooke because she hasn't been able to. I don't even know how she's selling stuff out of her shop anymore. She doesn't do it on TikTok anymore, I guess. Which I'm glad she let those fuckers go, because they're not worth. They're just a waste of time too, because they fuck you over a lot. And she kept getting banned. She kept getting trolled by fucking assholes that didn't like her fame. Instead of going out and making their own, they wanted to destroy hers. I mean, that's not right. And so, I've been trying to get back into doing these a little bit more often, and trying to do it earlier during the day, my time, so that I know it's not so late her time, so that she has a bigger chance of being able to get on. And usually what I try to do is to text message her when I'm about to do a live, if it's early enough in the day, my time, because they're 5 hours ahead of us. So it's like after 3 a.m. there right now. It's like 3:30 in the morning. So, but I try to text her and let her know when I'm about to do a live stream, so that if she can, and I always tell her I'm live. If you can pop on, great. If you can't, that's okay too. Thanks. I love you too. Good night. Thanks for hanging, as long as you did, hanging out and everything. And I'll probably just go ahead and end this anyway because I don't know, much else to say or do. So, blessed be. Um, Stay wild, Moonchild. And I'll see you next live, hun. Okay? Love ya. Hope everything's good with you and yours. Good night.